Hey everybody, it's Kevin from 3D Printed Props, and today we're going to be doing another Dredd cosplay video, and this one was super fun. Of course, there's the leathers behind me. Today we're going to be looking at all of the items that fill his Medkit. Now, we looked at this kit earlier, all the leathers that go with the belt, accessories. Now we're going to look at what I did to create these, print them out, paint them, and how they fit in here. So if you open this guy up, you can see it's got all the little tools here. It's got some other little things here that I just picked up, like scissors and some syringes. But it's these three up top that I modeled and printed and painted, and I am super happy with those. Let's go ahead, take a look and see how I did all that. And I printed these parts on one of my resin printers. I believe it was on the Saturn, the first one I had. And you can see they look super clean. But like all prints, there are some support, little bloops and blips there. So we're going to go ahead and sand those first with a 220, then with a 320, and get them nice and sort of smoothed out. I'm not going crazy with them because this is really battle damaged stuff. But you can see it's got a lot of dust. Make sure you wear a respirator and wash them with soap before you get to this point. Now we're going to be painting them. I'm using some Vallejo paints, pretty much right out of the bottle. You get one coat with these things, and I'm just going through it and painting it up. Actually, the black is just a standard basics paint because, there was no reason to actually use Vallejo for this. But my metals and all that kind of stuff are the Vallejo stuff. And I'm just going to go ahead and give this all a coat. Now you could spray paint it, but I find this easier. Now for the scissors, I heated up the plastic because they were too long. And I went ahead and cut off the ends so that they could fit inside the Medkit. And I just used a little Dremel with that with a bit, put some epoxy on there, and put both handles on. And was pretty happy with it. Now, here's one of my favorite parts is weathering. So this is dry brushing. So it's just a sort of old beaten up brush, not a lot of paint on it, and you're just sort of skimming the sides where you would see wear. You're telling a story with weathering. Your hand is going to be wearing on that edge more, and it's going to sort of bleed, sort of wear that paint away and make the silver maybe that's underneath it show a little bit more. And I've got very little paint on here, and I'm just sort of skating it across to really get that look. And sometimes I put more on just to sort of think, you'd set it down and maybe that end would get beat up more. And then I sort of just go over some of the main black areas too, just to sort of give it an overall look. And you can see here when you skate over a part like this, you can really highlight the higher areas without hitting those lower areas, because I wanted that sort of symbol or that number to come out. And again, where is this going to wear more? Where you might set it down or where you might grab it. And I love doing this kind of thing whenever you're adding to the story, whenever you're making something look more authentic. That's what I like to do with 3D prints. I mean, you're not going to be a judge in Mega City and not have like the shiniest equipment out there. So I love adding these little details. Now the next thing we're going to do is something I love even more, and that is, weathering. And now this is I believe it's a Vallejo wash. And light brown. All the links will be below in case you want to pick this stuff up. You could just use acrylic paint. I like this stuff. And I'm just sort of, adding where would things stay dirty. The cracks, the little crevices, the little areas. That is where, where a hand might go. Obviously you're going to have more dirt in those areas. Just think of how anything wears. I mean, you're going to get it in, mud and blood and things like that are going to add, be in those sort of areas. I actually didn't put blood on this, and I probably should have, because, that staples into the wound. And now some people might say, oh my God, they look dirty. You did all this work and everything, and now but again, this is what his stuff would look like. It wouldn't look brand new. It wouldn't look shiny. It would look like this. And the same thing with the scissors. He is bloodied and bruised up, especially in that one scene where he gets shot and he's fixing himself up. So I really bloody these things up, and I really dig how they look. Now you want all this weathering to stick, so I'm going to use this clear coat dead flat because I want it just to be matte. And here are the scissors, but guess what? They still don't fit. Yes, it happens. I didn't measure things properly. I bought too big of a scissors in the first place, tried to jimmy it. Hey, what are you going to do? So here it is finished. Again, we looked at this Medkit in a previous video. You can take a look below or above, wherever it shows up. And there they are. They fit in there great. I would probably print them a little bit smaller, you know, the top ones. I'd probably print them at 90%. Again, it's going to depend on your kit, the thing that you buy, and 100% a little too thick, but I'm not going to be taking these out a lot. As you can see, I think those scissors look pretty good. Those are just little cheapy syringes I got on Amazon. And I am super, super happy with this part of the Dredd cosplay. Okay, so you saw that, yes, when you're doing things like this, sometimes things don't work out 100%. So you just sort of regroup and go with it again. It's cosplay. I'm getting it as close as I can. It isn't going to be perfect. And who's to say that Judge Volo has little black scissors and not the exact scissors that look like the movie ones. Maybe I lost mine and I had to bring my own in from home. So that's fine. Now again, I'd probably print these a little bit smaller so they fit into this case. But again, you're going to have to see what case you get and see how they fit. I tried to go as close as I could to information I saw on Studio Creations and some other sites, but I probably would scale mine down. If you pick up my files, again, if you go to 3dprintedprops.com and pick these up to print out yourself, these were at 100%. I'd probably scale them down to 90% and everything would fit in there and give you a little bit more room. They'd slide out easier. I probably won't ever take these out of here, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I am super happy with how these came out. And again, they show up on screen for like next to nothing. And it was super hard sometimes to find good reference material. Again, all the reference material and links and everything will be below. But I'm really happy with how these things turned out. Again, if you want to print out your own, head over to 3dprintedprops.com, where I've got a ton of Dredd stuff because I am on a Dredd kick, if you have not guessed. Real fun to model, super easy to model, and I think they turned out really, really well. So guys, thanks a lot for this just fun cosplay I'm going through with Dredd. And if you like this video, please click like, subscribe, hit the little bell for the next one so you know when it's going to come out. In the next video, we are going to be taking a look at his weapons, not the Lawgiver. That's going to be its own series because this Lawgiver is going to be pretty amazing when I'm finished with it. But we're going to look at all his little accessorized weapons, sort of the bombs and things like that. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Take it easy and have a great day.